part 2 of my Ben Shapiro and Rachel Corrie video. To remind you, Rachel Corrie was an American activist who in 2003 was standing in front of a Palestinian home, and Israeli bulldozer, which was bulldozing the home, ran her over to death on purpose. And Ben Shapiro 13 years ago tweeted that she's an idiot, or she was an idiot, and this tweet recently went viral, and basically everybody was dunking on Ben Shapiro, and I made a video about that. Well, what happened since then is the next day after I made the video, Ben Shapiro was actually interviewed about this tweet going viral, and he doubled down on his original position that she was an idiot. And it's a good opportunity for me to mention a few things which I forgot to say in the first video. So, obviously the Israeli army, which drove the IDF, which drove the bulldozer, they claimed that they didn't see her. When they ran her over, her group of American activists said that they're lying and that they did see her. But of course, like, depending on which side you're on, you might be inclined to trust one side or the other, but the pictures show in the video that she was wearing a bright orange vest and shouting at the bulldozer through a megaphone. So you tell me, like, is it possible for us, like, a bulldozer doesn't move at like 50 miles an hour, a bulldozer drives at like, I don't know, 5 miles an hour or something? Like, is it at that speed possible to not see somebody in front of you wearing a bright orange vest and screaming at you through a megaphone? And you then just say, oh, I didn't see that person that was there when I ran her over. It's almost like that fucking scene in Austin Powers where he runs somebody over with a steamroller and he's going at like 1 mile per hour and screaming like, get out of the way, and the person's like, no, don't run me over. It's literally that retarded to claim that you didn't see the person that's 5 feet in front of you and screaming at you through the megaphone wearing an orange vest. So they definitely ran her over to death on purpose. But also, after they did, they celebrated it. The IDF, to make fun of the fact that they flattened her with the bulldozer, they made pancakes in her image, because pancakes are flat. So it's symbolizing being run over by a fucking like 10,000 pound bulldozer or something, or 50,000 pound, I don't know what the fuck. Basically, they have like huge bulldozers for bulldozing entire homes. And to symbolize how she was flattened by this bulldozer, they made pancakes and they printed her name, they printed her face on the pancakes and then ate them. And that was their celebration. And to me, that's also interesting because this is how religions are formed. So like in Christianity, there's some kind of part of tradition where you eat like bread that symbolizes part of Jesus or something. So it's almost like a religious motif where they're so insane, the Israeli Jews are so insane that when they ran over like a girl that was like maybe 20 years old with a bulldozer, they turned it into a religion about how basically she was an evil anti-Semite and they defeated her, and now her body is represented by these pancakes which they eat to symbolize their victory over their enemies. And Ben Shapiro writes about like, oh, how she's one of the greatest idiots in history and so on. And if you look at their history as written in their religious texts, it's all about how they're constantly being attacked, how they're constantly defending themselves, and how they righteously basically destroy all their enemies by killing them all. And then you look at reality of how it works in practice, not like what they wrote in their book about what supposedly happened 3,000 years ago, but about what you see with your own eyes, with pictures and videos and so on. And it's the exact opposite. It's them killing everybody, literally killing women and children, constantly lying about it all, and then making up fantastic stories about it, about how Nazis were making Jews into lampshades, and like Hamas was trying to sell heads of babies and were barbecuing babies and blah blah. No, Hamas did not barbecue babies, but you did make pancakes of Rachel Corrie, because you have yourself documented this, yourself doing this. So basically, as the saying goes, you always accuse your enemies or opponents of that which you're doing yourself. So like if you read the Jewish religious texts, they're always victims of like pure evil trying to genocide them. But when you look at what they're actually doing, they are the pure evil that's trying to genocide everybody everywhere. They were genociding Ukrainians. I mean, Stalin, who was a Jew, genocided Ukrainians. Then they dropped nuclear bombs on the Japanese. They firebombed Dresden. They're destroying Gaza. Everywhere, the result is the same, and it's always the exact opposite of their accounts of what happened. So you start to kind of like notice patterns, and unfortunately the patterns that you notice you cannot say anywhere. I mean, I'm saying them here, but I'm probably going to be deleted for doing that. But as long as I am here, you can take notes.